How long do they have? 10 minutes to judge targets at this point?
They do. All 4 pro classes will step up at the same time, and they all get that full 10 minutes to judge 5 targets. And it won't be till the end to potentially they'll shoot a 6th target, but they'll all judge that. Whoever comes within 10 points of the leader will have time to judge that final target during their own pro pressure shoot down.
So the situation is we've shot for 2 days. In the afternoon yesterday, the pros shot, and early this morning, and we were also able to set Shooter of the Year. We'll tell you about that. Here's a look at our targets that are set up. Of course, unknown distance for the first 3 classes. So we have a variety of targets in here. We have a chamois in there, known as the Beetlejuice. We have a Russian boar. There'll be a hill country deer in there, turkey, and a javelina. Christine, what do you think about the variety of animals they've picked for this shoot down?
I'd say it's the usual suspects with the addition of the turkey. That one is new for us this year, and that's a tricky one to judge, quite honestly. The trickier point, I think, to note is that it depends which one is your first target, okay?
Okay.
So you start to play a game. Say the very first shooter, the top shooter, is Emily for the women's pro class. If she steps up to the very shortest target out there, it really changes her game plan versus stepping up to a mid-range or the longest target. What she's going to do, because I've spoken to her before about it, is she's going to play it safe. She wants to see if her numbers are good. So it's honestly, it's kind of a bummer if you have to shoot your shortest target first, because that's the one you want to be aggressive on and maybe make a play at the 14. So you kind of want to test the waters first before going up against your short target.
So the chamois, though, we haven't seen that a lot in the shoot-offs this year. Normally we see the black buck or the blessed buck. The chamois seems to be a new setup for this particular one. The javelina, the full strut turkey, that's pretty much a standard in every one of these. And they always pick one of the deer, and generally you can count on, the Russian boar or one of the pigs or something like that. The chamois being new for the shoot-off, do you think that's going to add any unfamiliar?
Yes, for sure. Because you know what? The chamois is not a favorite for anyone. It's very strange. If you're looking at it on screen right now, the chamois has a really small head, and then it's got this average-sized body. It's very difficult to judge. Of course, looking at a target through the woods versus out in an open field changes everything. We're used to seeing it, of course, in trees. Right? So I think it's definitely going to play tricks on.
Yeah, there's a great shot of it there. You can tell. See
it is good looking.
And it's always looking at you, taunting you.
Now
I personally hate it.
Do you really?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, the good news about these targets, though, as ASA and Delta McKenzie have developed their relationship, is no matter what the actual animal is, all the targets, the sizes of the rings are all the same.
Standardized scoring ring. Correct.
How do you like that?
I don't think it makes it any difference, although it can get something out of your head if you're worried that you step up to a small target, that, ooh, the scoring ring's smaller. But that's not true. So at least that's out of your head, right?
Yeah.
But what's tricky, you're looking at the boar right now, and that one is odd because the scoring rings are in a weird place.
Yeah. Farther back.
A little farther back.
Right. They're not up tucked against the elbow like you would see in the deer and things like that.
Right.
They're sitting a little farther back. Now, the 14 ring on this end, it's a little more generous, or you feel like it's a little more generous.
But not the turkey or the javelina. That one's scary.
All right, so the situation is here in Coleman, Alabama at St. Bernard Abbey is we are on the football/soccer field area, so it's a wide open field. The temperature has dropped a little bit today. We still have the sun out, and so you can see that there's shadows being cast on the field, but also the lights are already being turned on as we expect, of course, that the light to drop. Now, Christine, there is a little bit of wind that's been poking around here. So how can that affect, say a 3D setup versus something of a setup with, say, smaller arrows? Because don't a lot of shooters in 3D choose a little bit beefier of an arrow?
I'd say the majority of people are shooting a 23 diameter arrow. Now, not all women do that. That's because they're playing a weight and a speed game, right? So sometimes they have to go to a smaller size shaft that weighs a little bit less, fewer grains per inch, to try to get the speed because they don't have the longer draw length that the men have, right?
Yeah.
So some of these ladies are actually shooting some skinnier arrows.
Gotcha. All right, so we're getting ready to go for the first target for the women's pro class. Now, Emily McCarthy came into 18 up. She's 2 ahead of Cara Kelly, who's our shooter of the year. Sharon Wallace is at 11 up. Kaylee Johnston at 8 up, and Erin McGladdery at 7 up. So opportunities for the shooters that come in 3rd, 4th, and 5th to try to advance in their scoring, because unlike when you're shooting in the field, normal scoring, the 14 ring comes into play in this shoot down.
There's a shot at Erin McGladdery there, coming in from Marsden, Canada. This is her 4th shoot-off this year. She took 3rd at the Kentucky ASA. Shoots a Bowtech. Yep, I'm doing that now. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Your 5th place qualifier, Erin McGladdery from Marsden, Canada, Saskatchewan. She's been shooting pro for 2 years, shoots for Bowtech. Also sponsored by Vortex, Gold Tip, Zebros Sightlight, Shrewd, Hamsky, Threads Bowstrings. Erin took 3rd at the Kentucky ASA, and this is her 4th shoot-off this year. Your 4th place qualifier is Kaylee Johnston from Dublin, Georgia. 8 years shooting a pro. She's sponsored by Matthews, Black Eagle Arrows, Classic Archery Products, AEP Stabilizers, True Ball, Zebros Lights, and Elevation and Boning. 2018, she took 1st at the ASA Columbus 2017 ASA Shooter of the Year for Women's Pro. Your 3rd place qualifier is Sharon Wallace from Townsville, South Carolina. 14 years shooting as pro. She's sponsored by Matthews, Black Eagle, Dead Center, Stand, GPO, and LP Archery. Her family members in attendance this afternoon, her husband, Jack Wallace. She was also the 2017 ASA Shooter of the Year, the ASA Classic Champion, 5-time ASA Paris Champion, 2018 Foley and Augusta Champion. 2nd place qualifier and your Shooter of the Year, Cara Kelly from Lapeer, Michigan. 14 years shooting pro, sponsored by Matthews, True Ball, XL Sights, Carbon Express, Dead Center Archery Products, Vortex, and Last Chance Archery Products. Her family members in attendance this afternoon, John Fernandez and baby Cade Kelly. Her ASA competition highlights multiple Classic Championships, Shooter of the Year titles, and Pro-Am titles. And her other highlight is winning the Shooter of the Year this year with a baby on board. And a big round of applause for your number 1 qualifier, Emily McCarthy from Wisconsin. 8 years shooting as pro. Her bow sponsor is Matthews, also sponsored by Black Eagle Arrows, Scott Archery, CBE, Reinhardt, AAE, Vortex, Bee Stinger, and Feather Vision. Her family members in attendance today's shoot down, her amazing husband, Mr. Dan. Her ASA competition highlights is the 2016 first place Appling and multiple podium finishes over the years. Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you, Chuck. All right, these are your 5 finalists.
All right, so these are your 5 finalists.
5 arrows. They have a option to call the upper 12s.
5 targets. And the way the shoot down works, they're going to get a chance to shoot each one of these targets. And we'll keep score for you. They have a scoreboard here that we'll shoot as well. So we'll be able to see from target to target if shooters are able to make moves and start to climb up the leaderboard.
Out here at the Classic in the final shoot-down, you have to be big enough.
So they're talking about getting volunteers to hold umbrellas for these women pro.
I got 4 of them over there on the bench.
All right, so Christine, you've been in this situation.
I have, and actually before these ladies took the field, I asked them a few questions. I kind of wanted to pick their brains a bit, see where their minds were at. And I love that when I talked to Kaylee Johnston, she's coming in here in 4th place. And I said, are you going to be happy with 2nd or 3rd place? And she said, no, I'm coming out here to win. If I'm not first, I'm last. Like literally, she's going to give it everything she's got. On the other hand, you know, when I was talking to Cara and Emily, so let's say Emily in particular, I said, listen, you're leading the class, now what? And she said, you know what, I could be happy with 2nd if I gave it up everything I had. I didn't make any silly mistakes. I shot my best. If I get outshot, I can handle it.
Awesome.
I followed the women's group through the last round of qualifying today, and to watch the top 5 really put on an amazing show. Really shot strong all day long. I'm expecting a really fantastic shootout for them this day.
All right, here we go. First arrows flying.
So just so you're aware, Emily is likely going to call all uppers except for the turkey. That's just her typical game plan. So if you see something low, she's probably underjudged it.
You can see there's some 8s being scored.
For Emily McCarthy, moves to the 4-26. For Cara Kelly, also number 12 call.
So Cara did call the upper 12.
Cara,
Took the 8.
424. For Sharon Wallace, currently at 411.
So right now we're looking at the turkey, and that's probably one of the trickiest ones out on the field. Just the shape of it makes the 12 rings very hard to see. So those are really hard ones to hit on that animal.
For Kaylee Johnston. That's 10 for Kaylee.
There's a look at the leaderboard
For the 418.
as they're being
And
updated.
for Aaron McGladdery.
Mike Terrell, president of ASA, on the microphone calling out these scores as we can see them shifting
12 for
through.
Aaron on the javelina.
She needed that. That's a great swing for her. There's 4 points that she picked up on the top of the field.
Erin said she's coming in with this with no pressure whatsoever. She's got everything to gain and nothing to lose. She said she's tired of being in 5th place, so she's going to give it all she's got here.
Upper 12s. An upper 12 call on the Russian boar.
Russian boar is called upper 12.
Upper 12s on the javelina.
Upper 12 on the javelina as well. The Russian boar, our 2nd target, number 2. Javelina number 5, all the way at the end.
Alrighty.
It's not surprising for an upper call on the javelina. In my opinion, the lower 12 is a little bit scary. There's a lot less space there at the bottom of the scoring rings. You've got Sharon on screen right now. I believe she's given it, she's at the turkey.
Now she lets down. Now the big thing to remember there is there's only 1 minute to shoot your arrow. So letting down, you know, she's really probably only going to get this draw. This arrow probably has to go or she'll clock out.
Right. I don't think we've ever seen that, to tell you the truth. 1 minute feels like a lifetime.
That's
Okay, first up,
really
Kaylee
close.
Johnston,
Oh,
the
that's
number
so
12
close
call,
for Sharon.
javelina.
It's too close to call from here.
All right, so on the javelina,
A 10 for Kaylee. Next for Sharon Wallace.
428 for Kaylee Johnston.
It looks like the chamois is giving people a little bit of a fit for
Yeah.
judging. And
That's
potentially
12
it's
for
on
Sharon
the
Wallace.
12. Yeah, 12 for Sharon
She got
Wallace.
it. She was sweating that one, I'm sure.
On the turkey.
For Cara Kelly.
Next up is going to be the deer.
12 for Cara. 436.
Cara Kelly with a 436 total.
Looking for the upper 12 on the Russian boar. Needs at least a 10 to stay tied for first now.
Go to the Russian board. They're taking a long look at that.
That's 10 for Emily. Moves her to 436.
So 10 moves 436. So now we have a tie.
Rotate now, please. And for Aaron, a 10 These are the 429.
Aaron has a 10.
Anybody within 10 points to the leader after
So
5 arrows goes
Ken and
6
Don
to
doing a good
final
job
arrow.
out there, judging and scoring.
Need a
So
clear
436,
score
436,
win
tie
for
atop the
first
leaderboard, Chuck.
If you're
And
tied,
only 3 points back for Sharon
continue to shoot
Wallace.
to a winner for
Is
first.
third.
We'll break ties for
428
second
Kaylee
and
Johnston,
third
and
with bonus.
Aaron McGladdery just 1
Number
point
12
from her
by
at
Emily.
429.
Here.
So now the ladies have had 2 opportunities
ready?
to see if their numbers are on or not, and
Kaylee
right
is
now
second.
they're
Hold on.
probably adjusting their numbers based on what they've shot
We'll
so
start
far.
after 1
It's a
minute.
little lighter, a
now.
little long.
They're maybe acting a couple more
Yep.
clicks to this 3rd shot.
Seeing how their nerves are settling in, whether they're making a really strong shot or if it's getting to them. But all these ladies, we've seen them in the shoot-off all year long.
Yes.
Great shot of Aaron there, bearing down on them.
And she's going to be going for it. She's going to be aiming.
She went for the 14 on
She sure
that.
did.
I don't think the heavy stuff's coming down for quite a while yet. I keep shooting. All right, Ricky.
Salute.
All right, so we go to the chamois. Our first target
12
scored
for
as a
Kaylee.
12.
Great
Very
shot.
nicely done. Next up,
It's Kaylee.
Aaron McGladdery.
So Aaron's up next.
For Aaron.
And we saw that. That's going to be an 8
8
for her.
Aaron.
But she did it going for the 14. So
Right.
she
The
was
big
trying to
number there.
gain
The
ground on
14
that
being
one.
in play gives her a great opportunity to move up quickly.
That would have been a great
Next
target
for
for
Emily
her to
McCarthy.
capitalize on.
And Christine, next time we see this target, can you give us the scoring real quick the next time we have a close-up look at those at that scoring ring?
For Cara Kelly,
How do we score this for those people that are watching for the first time?
a 10 for Cara,
Sure thing.
and for Sharon Wallace. Trying to close the gap even
go.
further.
So you're seeing the javelina. You see the smallest circle on the bottom. They're going to try to see if they've hit the
Now I recognize
12
Don
ring,
Bailey.
the lower 12 on the bottom. The next largest ring outside of that, sorry we're blocking our view here, but is the 10 ring, that perfect circle, the larger circle. And then you go out even farther, and that's the 8 ring. So we just mentioned how Aaron went after the 14
Sharon.
on the Russian board.
You started
That's
7 points
in the
back, and now
corner
you're
of
1
the 8
point
ring. There's a
back.
very high risk reward there. The
Wanna keep
14 is
going?
only in play during the shoot down.
here we go.
If you miss it, you're an 8
Ladies.
or a 5. So it's
Let
a high risk.
Sharon get
But
settled
if you
in.
want to gain some ground, you've got to go for it.
All right, so just 1 point now separates third place from the top 2 that are tied.
Two, yeah. Tied it, first and second, tied 446. Sharon Wallace, 445.
You're gonna borrow a hat.
Battery down at 437. Kaylee Johnston just in front of her.
Okay,
With 440.
everybody's ready? We'll start your
Emily
1 minute
and Cara
now.
being tied at the top. Cara hitting 1 bonus ring there.
I'm going to have to guess that Emily and Cara right now aren't going to be making plays for 14s at this point, even though they're tied at the top. They're going to play it a little bit safer. But then you've got Kaylee and Aaron who are going to be going for it. And it looks
She
like
got
we
it.
have a 14.
Yeah, it looks like
Yep. That's gonna
Kaylee
be
Johnston
Kaylee.
got it.
She said it before she came out. If I'm not first, then I'm going to be last. I'm going to try.
Okay, first up,
Ricky Bobby.
Kelly.
First up, you're last.
Go for 12 call. 10. Emily, you call
If you're just tuning into our live coverage, it's the 2018 Delta McKenzie ASA Classic here in Coleman, Alabama, and we are in the Women Pro Shootdown in a fierce battle for the win in our first of our 4 pro classes that are participating in this shootdown.
She catches the 12. She did. And now
McGladdery at 12.
she's now in front of the leaders by
Who's her to 449? 7 points behind.
Sharon is just clipping those 12s at the very hairy bottom.
Jason, can you hear me?
She's got a 14.
Yeah, she caught it.
4.
That
2
brings her
points behind.
right into the mix.
And for Sharon Wallace, 8, just under the 10.
Now, Christine, when we looked at that scoreboard, we
Here's
noticed
our
there's
situation.
6 positions available for scoring. But do we always use that, or is it just 5 first? In terms of on the board of scoring, it said 1 through 6. So we have these 5 targets. What's that last?
The sixth and final target, the only people who shoot that are those who are within 10 points of the
can you hear
lead.
me?
But the 14 ring can change a lot of
Jason can hear me?
situations very quickly.
Okay, this is
All right,
the
Cara,
last
are you ready?
regular
This will
shot
be the
here.
last
the
standard
baby
target
ready?
of scoring. It is 5 targets to determine a winner. Anybody, like you said earlier, anybody that's within 10 points of the leader will have the ability to shoot one additional target to try to determine a final winner. In case there's a tie, they will go to additional targets. But right now, it's 5 targets for scoring. And on the last one, there's a shot at Kaylee Johnston.
And I promise you, everyone's heart rate is as high as they're going to be right now.
It's a great look at that chamois.
Yep.
Right on the edge of the 12 ring there. I think she's got it. She looks pretty happy.
She would be happy if she hadn't called upper.
Oh, that's right. She called upper. She was doing that a lot. Yep.
No, she calls all uppers except for the turkey.
Yep.
Sharon, I think.
Sharon's
Listen, she's a veteran, but anyone in this position would be nervous. She
Gets
knows
nerved
she's
up.
there, right?
It's a big tournament. This isn't just a standard tournament. This is the classic. This is
And
the
she's
big
last year's
Daddy.
winner. She wants it again.
I'm going to say that's right
That's
on
a
the line.
12.
That's
That looks like a
close.
12 right there.
Super close.
56.
All right, so the chamois.
12. 468. Next up, Sharon Wallace.
Boys getting down there
Oh,
to
they're
take a
gonna make
really,
sure.
really good look at it.
Yeah.
Those guys want to be honest and call it pure.
Jason, Jade,
They know what's
hear
on
me
the
out
line.
here.
Yeah, they get it. They understand it. These are the same 2 guys that call arrows all summer long, all season long.
Oh, just
ten.
missed it.
Just
Just missed it.
Sharon to
Jason, this is
463.
PJ. Can you hear me out here?
And then
Okay, 10-4.
we should have Kaylee up next, right?
Kaylee Johnston.
A
12 for
12.
Kaylee Johnston.
She's moving big.
Booster to 466.
And I stand corrected. That wasn't Emily on the chamois.
Both with 10 bonus
Sharon
rings.
Wallace at 463. It's going to include Kaylee Johnston
463 is
at
Sharon Wallace.
466.
There you go. Good look at the board on your screen.
There it is.
9 points behind.
And that's the way they came into this round, by the way.
Set a final
And in the
target.
women's pro class, there's only one time this year where the #1 seed going into the women's pro shootdown
Coin toss
has
between
lost
Kaylee
it.
and Emily.
That was in Paris, Texas, where Sharon Wallace was your #1 seed going into it, and Cara Kelly ended up winning it from position #2. So this could only be the second time this year that happens in the women's pro class.
So I think the biggest thing we need to look at here is what Kaylee Johnston has just accomplished. It's a 10-point cover from what she came in at. 10 points behind Emily McCarthy, and now she's tied with Emily McCarthy
That's
for
impressive.
second and third
Impressive.
in 5 targets.
And that's not easy to do. This is your last chance, last tournament of the year. You really want it. You can't try any harder, but you can go in there with a really aggressive plan, which she did.
And you said that when you talked to her, she was going to put it all out there. She was going to
Yes.
lay it out, and she was going to shoot it.
She wasn't, she came in, I believe, at 4th place. So she kind of had nothing to lose. She had to make her move in order to jump onto the podium, and she wasn't trying to jump onto 3rd.
No, she could only go back 1 position, and she could move up 4 positions. So put it out there.
She's got the ability.
Yep.
Beautiful thing about ASA 3D Archery, though, is the fact that when that 14 ring comes into play, you know, we've talked about it, we've said it, risk reward. I mean, that's it. If you're going for it and you hit it, you know, it's hero or zero, basically.
Yep. She hit the one she went after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sharon missed the one she went after.
So speaking of heroes, McCarthy, she's not going to go down, okay, meekly. She's not going to just toss this up. She's going to have to make someone else take it from her, potentially Sharon or Cara currently.
She looks intent and confident.
All right, and the target that they're all judging right now, the 6th target, is it the alert deer?
It is.
And it looks to be a little bit of a poke. It's certainly not in their faces. So now we've got to think about, are they really going to go for the 14 with the target being that far away? It's a big 14 ring, relatively speaking.
Kaylee won the coin toss, so she's going to shoot second.
The deer, the white-tailed deer, standing up in the middle.
So they won't use that 6th target?
He shifted him over just beyond the last stake here on the left-hand side of the field.
Okay, so it's going to be the hill
They're going to shoot the Hill Country buck.
Hill Country buck.
Okay,
exactly.
that's really tricky. That changes things a little bit. He's much harder to judge because he's a small, long target.
You know, I have to correct myself here. Erin McGladdery made it in. All 5 ladies are in the shoot.
Hill Country is the
I looked at the number wrong.
Aspen.
468. She's 459. She's within 10. All 5 ladies are in this. Erin's got nothing to lose. If I'm her, I'm
Nope.
in 5th place right now. I mean, I'm going 14 all day.
Absolutely.
There's literally nothing she can lose.
Right.
She could shoot. I mean, as long as she hits foam.
She's got a great shot. It's just a matter of did I get the judge right or not?
So if she picks a good number, and I watched her shoot today, she can call a number.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, so they're shooting the chamois.
The shit.
She went for the 14, but she's got an 8. So it's a little light.
8 for Aaron.
Much shorter target, too. That made that an easier shot. We all thought they were going for the deer.
Yeah.
Sharon Wallace.
Yeah, they moved him over.
Early 5 points.
So Sharon Wallace will shoot now.
They moved him over past the first stake.
5 points out of the lead, so you're down by 5. What are you thinking? What are you doing if you're up there?
In which place? 4th?
She's currently in 4th, 5 points out of the lead.
Yes,
And she'll shoot the
correct.
chamois.
She'll shoot the chamois.
Do you think she goes for the 14? She's
Yes.
not currently on the podium. If you go for the 14, you pretty much force the other girls to do it.
Why not? You're the woman. You shoot great. You're last year's winner.
Yeah, you're the champ.
Start your 1 minute now.
We're about to find out. Sharon's a very, very confident shooter.
Also very talented. It is so quiet here.
You could hear a pin drop.
She went
She
for it.
got
She's
it.
got it.
I think she's got it.
Wow, there it is. Look at her, all that big fist bump. Look at the tears.
5.
A 5.
No.
Oh, what a
14 called.
wow.
Mike,
She laid
Mike
it down.
Terrell, president of ASA, having a little bit of fun with the crowd, but
Everybody
card.
loves it. Everyone loves to see someone going all in.
Look at the smile on her face there.
But who's surprised? None of the ladies on the field right now are
No,
surprised.
no, they knew she was going to do that, right? They've
No.
shot with her long enough. They know the drill.
Yep. And
They know she's a competitor, and she's going to lay it all right out there.
One of the most aggressive and exciting people to watch, I think, is Emily McCarthy, because she really lays it out there. When I talked to her beforehand, she was a little concerned that she would be too aggressive. She said she was going to play it a little bit smarter, a little bit safer starting out. And then as she picked up a head of steam, she was going to get a little riskier. So my guess is she's 100% going for the 14.
If she hits a 12, she is ahead of Sharon. They've got Emily has a 466. So does Kaylee Johnston. So if she hits the 12, she does stay in front of Sharon.
oh, you can see the grimace on her face. Missed
Knew
it.
as soon as it popped.
Yep, she's a little light on the chamois.
But she was going for the 14. You can tell she's that far over.
course.
She was aiming up there.
Of course.
Goes for the 4.
The crowd is just crushed.
It's so
They
quiet.
did not
You
want
could
to see
hear
that.
the
Nobody
gasp.
wanted that.
12, second place. 10, third place. 14 brings first place back into play.
All right, we've got
So what
Kaylee
you just
up
heard
next.
there from Mike is Mike is really good at this. If you listen to him through the shoot-offs during the season, he knows the math really quick. He's given the ladies their options just in case they haven't run it through their head.
Usually with a little bit of taunting, but not right now. It's gotten really serious out here.
So Kaylee's bearing down.
Yes, and she went
got
for
it.
the 14 and
She's right on the edge of it.
All you have to do is just break
Yeah,
that.
look at that.
Just break that line. Bend it. You got it.
Sweet.
And a 14 is called on the card from our position.
The crowd loves that.
Okay, let's look at this.
That gives her
What's the baby's
4-8.
Kate.
All right.
All right. Kate.
So our final shooter. What's the score she's going in with?
A 12.
Cara is coming in with a 468. Kaylee Johnston right now has a 480.
It's 12.
It's 12.
12 to
She
tie.
could hit
12
the
to
14
tie.
to win.
14
Yeah,
to win,
14 to
12
win.
to tie.
Who wants to bet me $5? She goes for the 14.
I don't know. I'll bet you
Anybody?
$5.
You were going to give her $5 for a lesson earlier. She was going to take you out and school you on the 3D range.
This would be a good present for the baby, wouldn't it?
It would.
Ooh, man.
This has been an important year for her. She took on a very important job. She's responsible for a lot of facilities and a lot of people. She started that. She got pregnant this year. She won Shooter of the Year. This is especially meaningful.
So
for
what you're
her.
saying is this 14, if she goes
wants
for it, is probably hers with what she's got rolling this year?
Yeah, I would never bet against this one. Never. In a
She's
million
been
years.
shooting that bow so good lately.
Yes, she has. She's only gotten better. She went for the 12. She might be just
12?
right. It's
It's
really
a little
hard
edgy.
to
She's
see.
down on that pie there.
All right, so
We're having a close
judges are
look.
having a good look at it, and the
Let's
card
see.
comes up, and they're looking for it. It's a
A
10.
10.
A 10.
That's it.
So that means Kaylee Johnston.
488.
Kaylee Johnston
Or
coming from
478.
4th spot. The biggest swing we've seen in 2018 to come in 4th spot and to take it all.
I'm going to go out
A
there.
10-point deficit coming off the leader. What a play.
She called it before she ever stepped foot on the field. Good for her.
Look at it. You think it doesn't mean anything? Look at the emotion on their faces.
Absolutely.
Kaylee Johnston in first. Cara Kelly will finish second. Sharon Wallace will take the bronze third with a 477. Emily McCarthy falls to fourth. Erin McGladdery comes in at fifth and
Jason,
leaves at
I'm gonna
fifth.
go
What do you
to
think
the
of that shootout?
Cameraman in front of the
I am
scoreboard.
nervous. I feel sick to my stomach. I didn't have anything on the line. I love these ladies. You want everyone to do well. I'm a little shocked. I really thought Emily was going to take this one. I really did. I wouldn't have been surprised if Kelly gave her, Cara gave her a run. I didn't see it this way.
All right, let's go with PJ, who's down with our winner. PJ?
Kaylee Johnston. Got to pick up your important check right there. Tell me about it. That was exciting.
That was very exciting. I've never had a shoot down like this. I'm not the kind of person to go for 14s, and I went for 2 of them and hit them, which I was excited about, don't get me wrong, but I was surprised myself with it.
What do you do when you see Sharon hit that 14? I mean, that's got to ramp up the pressure a little bit more.
It does. It does. You just have to believe you have the right number. I mean, you're going to miss them just as much as you hit them. So I don't know what happened today. Luck was just on my side.
Gotcha. Thank you, Kelly. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Unbelievable shooting. And last thoughts, Christine?
This was an exciting one. I'm glad I got to sit here with you guys to watch it and call it. Again, I'm a little bit shocked, but guess what? The best competitor today is the one who's standing on the top of the podium. So good for Kaylee. Congratulations to all 3 ladies.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We certainly appreciate it. And good luck in this offseason, and we hope to see you at some of the shoots in Vegas and definitely in the 2019 ASA season.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right.
Take a look back to your very first hunt. Who were you with? What were you hunting? In that very moment, your legacy began. Whether you know it or not, we all have a ritual. It may be that lucky pair of socks, or your routine before or after a hunt. Whatever it may be, trust that hunt to the most shootable and efficient bow ever developed. Honor the ritual.
How was easy. Introducing the new Snap-Lock Blade Retention System. Bring home the meat. Dead meat.
For me to switch, I have to have a reason for it, not just because something new came out.
I shot Hoyt for 19 years. It wasn't going to be a bow I could trust this year.
I mean, I shot all the different bow brands. I shot Matthews, I shot Elite, went through the whole list, and Prime stuck out to me.
Draw this one back, it's just there. You're not waiting for the wobble to come out of your hand.
I drew it back and let it rip, and I was like, dang, quarter good one. And that was my story with Prime.
Which is the 25th anniversary, silver anniversary belt buckle. Shooter of the year. It's going to look great in Kane's crib.
Welcome back to the 2018 Delta McKenzie ASA Classic, coming at you from St. Bernard Abbey here in Coleman, Alabama, as the women's pro celebrating the podium, getting the checks.
And their Shooter of the Year checks right here. That's the one thing that, yes, sir. We're going to do some quick announcements here.
Welcome, everybody, to the Senior Pro Shootdown. Your 5th place qualifier with a score of 414 with 11 bonus rings. Andy Dawes. Andy is from Hope's Bluff, Alabama. He's been shooting pro for 10 years. His primary bow sponsor, Matthews, Gold Tip, Modern Woodman Financial Services, Andrea Ashley. His family members in attendance for the shootdown today, his wife Tina, daughters Andrea, Christy, and Haley, and granddaughter Blakely, and his son-in-law Ryan. His ASA competition highlights: back-to-back Kentucky
Pro-Am Senior Pro Champion, Andy Dawes. Your Senior Pro 4th place qualifier from Georgetown, Kentucky, with a score of 414 and 13 bonus rings. Shooting pro several years, Brian Jones. His primary sponsor, Matthews. Additional sponsors, HIT Outdoors, B3 Releases, S3 Sights, and Exoskeletal Broadheads. His ASA competition highlights is Open A Shooter of the Year, multiple shoot downs as an Open Pro, 3 shoot downs since joining the Senior Pro ranks. Your 3rd place qualifier, Larry Goza, 415 with 14 bonus rings from Crossville, Alabama. He's been shooting pro for 19 years, but he's been with the ASA since inception, all 25 years. His primary bow sponsor is Bowtech, also sponsored by Trueball, XL, and Gold Tip. Family members in attendance here, his brother Joseph, and his ASA competition highlights: Limited Pro, ASA World Champion, and several top 3 finishes. Qualifying in the 2nd position, from Keller, Texas, Michael Brady with a 418 with 16 bonus rings. He's been shooting pro for 22 years. His primary sponsor is PSE, also sponsored by Shrewd, Black Eagle, BCY, Hamsky, and Vortex Optics. 2017 Senior Pro Shooter of the Year, 2017 Classic Champion, 1996 Rookie of the Year, and more than 10 ASA championships. And your #1 Senior Pro qualifier and your Shooter of the Year, Tony Tazza, shooting a 420 with 15 bonus rings. Tony's been a pro for 18 years. His primary sponsor is Hoyt, also sponsored by Easton, Dead Center Archery, Shrewd, Lancaster Archery, and AAE. Your 2016 ASA Shooter of the Year and 2017 ASA Shooter of the Year runner-up with 3 ASA wins this season, Tony Tazza.
All right, thanks, Chuck. And we'd now like to welcome into the broadcast booth Art Brown, who shoots for Matthews. It's good to have you here, Art.
Great to be here. What a stud-filled event right here with these guys. Wow.
Wow.
That's a strong class out there.
And you have to shoot against them.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting it done. That guy at the top, Tony Tazza, wow.
Tell me about Senior Pro and how you get into Senior Pro.
Well, you got to be 49. You got to turn 50 during the year. So technically, we can shoot it as 49-year-olds.
Oh, I see. So it's
as long as you turn 50 that season.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So how was everything? You know, the courses that your class shot this last 2 days.
They were awesome courses. You know, Don does a great job of setting courses. He knows how to fool us. He knows how to take the ground away. He just does an awesome job.
All right, so first arrow now for the senior pro.
Wonder if he called for the upper there.
I didn't hear anything about it, but it's definitely possible on the turkey.
That would have been Michael,
right?
First up for
far
Tony
end.
Tazza.
Tony Tazza.
On the chamois, 10. Him on the chamois.
For Michael Brayden, throwing 2 points behind on the Russian
Right, so Michael Braden's only 2 points behind. He tees off with an 8. So slips a little bit on that shot.
Larry Goza.
Next up should be Larry Goza.
12 upper 12.
And look at our scoreboard.
He did call for. Oh no. Wrong target.
Goza at 10. He was on the deer. That's our third target. So if you're just joining our coverage, we have a chamois that's out there on target number 1, a Russian boar on number 2. We have the Hill County country deer on 3. We have the turkey on 4 and the javelina on 5. And Brian Jones with a 12, getting aggressive. So he did call that upper on that turkey. Now to the javelina. Oof. What do you think, Art?
Oh, that's close. That's a surprising shot right there. I think he's got it. I think he's licked it.
Really.
5.
Ooh.
Give him the 5.
So our 5th place shooter, Doss, comes in 14 up. So he's actually only.
Be a second to get settled in. We'll start for 1 minute now. Upper 12 on the Russian boar.
So he's calling for the upper 12 on the Russian boar there. Now, nothing really big and surprising there. I mean, we had a 10, an 8, a 10, a 12, a 5. That's the biggest surprise there for Andy shooting a 5 coming out of the gate on the last one. Hits the lower on that 12. He's definitely got that pie there. Art. Now, Art, you're super familiar with these targets because you kind of rebuild them, don't you?
Don't rebuild them. I sell
Called for the 14 on the chamois?
I sell the targets for Delta McKenzie. I'm a large dealer for them.
Gotcha.
12 for Brian.
12 for Brian.
Brian's on a real roll right here.
Yeah, you see that's 12-12 back-to-back.
Yes.
12 for Larry.
Larry, 12.
That's
that gives him a 437.
That's the only target he calls lower on.
12 for Michael Brayden.
Now, is he pretty much an all-upper guy across
yes, he
the
is.
board?
Yeah. The only one he calls lower on is the turkey.
Tony Tazza. Had an upper 12 call.
Upper 12 on that board. Gets the 10.
Boosted to the 440. Still leading by 2 points.
Still with a 2-point lead there. Andy Doss, who went for the 14. Does that look a little tall? Let's see what they.
It does look tall.
Yeah, there's a little area. Yep. You can just get over that and still not lose the 8 and hit the 5. But with his arrow with a 5 for his very first arrow, you know now he's just going to go 14s across the board. I mean, he's in 5th place right now, so he's got nothing to lose. Pour on the gas, let it go.
Yeah, all cautions to the wind.
Yep. At this point, he's trying to call a good number and get back in it.
He can't lose 5th, so he might as well shoot for him at this point.
Right? Is that what you'd be doing?
Yeah. You know, if you can move it back up to 3rd place, if you thought you had a chance, you might be a little more conservative.
You can see Tony there, that signal there.
Yeah.
That's him calling for the upper 12. Tell us what that means real quick. If you call for the upper, what happens?
You cannot get a bonus ring unless you hit that upper 12.
So that lower 12 is
It's
out of play.
yeah.
If you hit it, it's a 10.
Right.
The 14 is still in play.
Still hot on the 14.
But you got to hit. Now, what's the advantage for doing that? Why do you call the upper?
Well, the reason we do a lot of times, if you ever bobble, you bobble low. You very rarely bobble high. So if you miss the upper 12, you're usually right into it for a solid center 10. So it takes a lot of bad scores out of play.
Minimizes.
12 for Brian Jones.
Man, Brian's doing what he needs to do there.
Yeah.
That's 3 bonus rings.
And he's been playing this game a long time. I don't think his highlights really show who he is.
Just out 8. There's a perfect sign of a senior pro right there. Turning the binoculars around so you can see the sight tape. There it is right there. The perfect shot right there, Art.
Yeah, if they're not doing that, we're thinking they're 48.
Yeah.
I don't think Tony should be in here because he's not using glasses.
Nah, exactly. All right, so here's our final score, Javelina call. And as they're shifting through those scorecards, we see a 10.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a heck of an accomplishment to be out there. I mean, to do that in this kind of field of 60 shooters, it's no cakewalk. It's a tough class.
It's a pretty tough crowd, and the thing is the guys like you who have been in it, it's not like you just decided last year when you turned 50 to shoot 3D. You've been doing it for 15 or 20 years, so the skill level is there.
Yeah.
It's just a different class.
Yeah, you showed the years these guys have been shooting, and at their ages, these guys out there, their skills are great.
Great look there, Michael. That PSE performance. Right into the 12 on the pig.
Yeah.
Okay, first up, Michael Brady.
All right, so we're going to go with that Javelina. That's we're going from 5 to 1 on this one. So the Javelina gets scored as a solid 12, the shot that we saw. So Michael Braden, 458.
Really needed that right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really
Over to the turkey we go. This is Tony Tazza. Tony get that 10 ring? You got an 8.
That's a rare rate.
That is an area. You know, and the thing is for Tony, you can see the scores. He's been shooting solid 10s. You know, trying to keep it up. So now the door's open a bit. Oh, Andy Doss, our 5th place position coming into this deal. He was 14 up, so that miscue right there is going to probably keep him out of contention for a podium. So target number 2, the Russian boar.
That looks good.
It does. You get the 12 on that?
Wow.
Got the 12. Yeah.
Wow.
Got a 12.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
462. That's a 4-point lead now. Coming in 4th, and now he's in 1st.
10.
457. All right, gentlemen.
Now, barring anything drastic, these guys are going to go to a 6th for sure.
You're right.
Now, granted, they're only shooting their 5th there. We get 5 arrows to shoot here. So there's a quick look at the board. Go ahead.
Yeah, Brian Jones, 62. You got a couple of 58s in the mix. Goza, 57, 40 now. This is very interesting. In the judging classes, which is women's pro, senior pro, men's pro, no one this year in any of those 3 classes has won that was 2nd place or behind. So only 2nd and 1st coming in to the shoot down of 1. So this would be
an upset.
This would be a bit of an upset.
Well,
actually,
Kaylee just did it in the last shootout.
Right.
She came in.
Exactly. So
now
that's
the judging.
this year.
Now, explain what you mean when you say judging classes, because this is.
Well, we're going to get to known pro, which is an actual where they can break out something and judge the distance. Been 1st, 2nd, or 3rd for all
Larry with a 14.
Classes.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Made that shoot off. I've been trying to make it forever, and I've never made it for the classic. It's a tough deal.
That's 12.
It is. Moves into 470. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Now we have a tie for 3.
We got Brian Jones at 472. There he goes.
So Jones 2, Goza, 1.
At 470 and 19 bonus rings. And Tony Tazza at 470.
A couple of points separating those top 4.
Shooting first will be Tony Tazza, Michael Braley, Larry Goza, and then Brian Jones hits the 4th and final arrow. Let's give these guys a round of applause.
Wow, that was a great first 5 targets. Now, you heard Mike giving bonus rings based on what they started with and how many bonus rings they hit here, because that determines where Tony and Michael are going to start.
The least amount of bonus rings.
Least amount of bonus rings. And the reason there is you've earned that right to be in the top of the field, so you want to see what the competition is doing behind you. You get to shoot that last arrow.
Yeah, you want to shoot last. Some people say they want to shoot first. I don't believe it, because you want to know what you have to do.
Right, and we saw that in the last shoot-off, right, Greg?
Yeah, sure did. Now, Art, these archers got their arrows back. All right, so it's now the time when you have a favorite one that you may be pounding all weekend long, and you're going to pick that one arrow that's been working for you.
You're pulling the arrow you shot all day that you had trust in. Tony, these guys shot some good rounds out there today. Tony's pulling his number 1, no doubt about it. It's amazing how sentimental we get to a certain arrow, where somebody hits it and hits your knock. Like, darn it, I got to take that out of play. That's hard to do.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, we're very superstitious.
You get all teary-eyed, do you?
No, I don't get teary-eyed, but I do kind of cuss the guys with me for ruining my arrow.
Now, what target are they going to be pointing at? Did we get them?
It's looking like the deer, the hill country deer. But
Well,
I'm not
we thought
sure.
that last time, and then they shot the chamois and kind of got us goofed up.
Oh.
God, if I was a betting man, I don't know who I'd bet on right now. I mean, it's that hard.
It's so close. It's only 2 points between Brian and Tony. So what are you thinking? I mean, Tony's.
Well, you know what the hard part is here? Are you going to be real aggressive and shoot at a 14, or are you going to make sure you get on the podium?
Yeah.
It's
Here's
a lot to
Well,
weigh
you're
out.
2 points. If I'm Tony or Michael, I'm thinking 12 all day, because if I hit the 12 and he hits a 10,
Exactly.
I'm at least tied.
Yeah, I don't see them guys leading off with a 14.
And what they've done, too, is they've moved him closer to the target. All right, so the stakes are, I'm not a judge in distance. You might be able to judge it better, but the stakes are probably a good 7 to 10 yards behind him.
Yeah, they've moved up a good bit.
Yeah. So, I don't know, where our
Based on
scorers
where
are
the
standing,
officials are standing,
I would say
I'm
they're
going to guess
probably
that Turkey. Based on where the officials are standing on the field, because they'd be out of the line.
What do you think, Art?
I bet they were wishing they were shooting the other side of it, because on the other side, the 14's only got about a half inch between that and the 10.
It's much, much closer.
Yeah, this side. So if you go for that 14, you've got like 1.5 inches down to the 10. So I'm going to guess you're going to see Tony shoot at a solid 12.
And he'll call the upper on this.
Most likely. And he wouldn't surprise me by hitting it. I mean, this guy's got nerves of steel.
I think he just ended on this target.
Yes,
He
yes,
shot
he
it
did.
within the last
Yes.
2 targets. So,
Yeah, he's going upper right now.
yeah, he's calling upper.
He-
You see the big thumbs up there.
He's one of the best pressure shooters I've ever seen.
All right, Tony, start your 1 minute now.
And again, they get 1 minute to shoot this arrow.
A good shot at the distance.
Sitting in 4th right there. Yeah, nothing to lose.
Right. I see Michael shooting for the 12.
He can't go any lower than 4.
He is. Very few mistakes.
And he had a big win last weekend at the Outdoor
Yes, he
Nationals
did.
NFAA.
Oh, that is so close, but it looks like it's
looks like a
out.
10.
Looks like a 10, yeah.
Well, we got to see what kind of pressure Larry's going to put on Brian now.
10 is scored. You see from our officials. That's going to move him to 80.
Now, Larry, he's going to be able to see those rings. He shoots a 7 power lens.
Yep.
And he can see every ring out there. This is the one target he doesn't call upper on.
But he doesn't.
No, he calls lower on it. He likes
I think
it.
he's going to go for the 12, though, because
I do.
if he hits a 10, he's finished.
Yeah, he's going for the 12.
I
And
don't
he'll be
think he
shooting the
goes for
lower
the
12.
14.
Right. You 12 it, put the pressure back on Brian.
Well, if he goes for the 14, though, he still finishes in front of Tony, but just behind Mike.
Start your 1 minute.
But
So it's still a podium is what you're saying.
yeah,
it's still third.
he'll feel much more comfortable aiming at a 12 than a 14.
Center
10.
10. So now Brian needs a 10 to win.
Yep.
For Larry, 10 for Larry, 481. All right, Brian.
What do you think, Art? Brian Jones in this situation, all you need is a 10. You probably hit a bazillion 10s in your life.
He's got butterflies like crazy.
Like crazy,
You can
right?
say
I
he
mean,
doesn't, but he does. He's going to be shaking right in the middle of that 10.
This is Brian Jones, who can continue our streak in the shoot-down of archers coming from 4th place to the win. Here we go. There it is.
Ooh,
Looks like it caught the line. It's a 10.
10, but it's a 10.
All right, they're taking a look at it. Yeah. Our judges are taking a long look at it. Here comes the cards being shuffled.
They shuffled to the 10. There it is.
It's a 10.
He's your champion.
Wow. He tried to give it away there that last shot. But he didn't. Unbelievable. Brian Jones coming from 4th. 14 up. He was 6 back coming in. And he'll take victory here at the 2018 Delta McKenzie ASA Classic. Coming at you from Coleman, Alabama.
What a big upset for Tony Tazza to go from 1st to 4th.
I've never seen him fall back before.
No.
No, I mean, he's just that solid.
A complete shuffle in the podium.
Yep.
Again, like you just said, Brian finishing in 1st, Larry Goza in 2nd. There's a look at the leaderboard. Michael Braden 3rd, Tony Tazza 4th, Andy Doss in 5th. Wow.
You know, I remember Brian's a couple of years ago, his first shoot-off, and he had a commanding lead and fell apart. So he's got to feel really good coming back and putting it on him there.
Yeah, yeah. What?
There's a lot of rewards in this sport. And, you know, you don't forget them bad days, but
PJ's out on the field, and he's going to get a word with our champion.
Jones, Brian, that was quite the yell there at the end. Tell me about the pressure.
Oh, it was nothing like I've ever experienced. You know, when I knew I only had to hit a 10, I think it made it worse. So I thought I had a little extra on it. I said, let's make a good shot at the bottom of the 10, and it hit right behind my pin. I didn't have any extra. So.
Were you a little nervous there when Don was scrolling through the cards?
Yeah, because I didn't know if he was going to pull out 8 or 10. I knew it was close, and he was looking at it. And they're known to be tough callers, so if it wasn't there, he wasn't going to give it to me.
So tell me about, you came from 4th place up to 1st. You're the 2nd one of our archers to do that today. How do you do that?
You know, I just got lucky and was hot and picked good numbers. So I knew after I hit the first turkey, it was one of the hardest shots out there. I said, you know, I got that. My numbers are good, so that kind of relaxed me a little bit. And I hit the next 3, and I got to the 5th target, and it was really the hardest shot, the deer. And I said, I just got to shoot a 10. So I played a little bit conservative there, and I got a 10, which was nothing wrong with that. And it set me up. It gave me the advantage to shoot the last arrow and watch what everybody else done. So.
Congratulations, Brian. Great win today.
Thank you very much.
All right, our 2nd archer to come from 4th to victory. By the way, in these classes that judge distance, our 2nd archer to do it all season long. Well, Art Brown, thank you so much for joining us here in the broadcast booth. We certainly appreciate it. And what's next for you in the archery world this year?
We got the IBO Worlds left, and I'm looking forward to getting that done and go hunting.
There you go. It's getting ready.
We get pretty tired this time of year, and we can't wait to get down to the mountains, and then I got a moose hunt in Canada, and then to whitetail. So
awesome.
I'm looking forward to that.
Thanks so much, man.
We
appreciate it.
Guys.
All right, take
care.
Thanks
very much. Really appreciate it, buddy.
Small town in 1981. A company that produces quality products that archers have come to rely on. I started shooting with a Scott release and have passed the tradition on. My dad always told me, never forget where you came from. Well, I haven't. Shoot with confidence. Shoot a Scott.
Stealth is lethal. Smooth to draw, silent to shoot.
the 2018 Triax. Experience it today at your local authorized retailer.
No matter the target, every shot counts. No matter the shot, every impact takes a toll. That's why every gold tip arrow starts with smart carbon technology for unmatched toughness and straightness retention, so they stay true shot after shot. From the range to the hunt, and every challenge in between. Gold tip. Start tough, stay true.
All right, welcome back to the 2018 Delta McKenzie ASA Classic here in Coleman, Alabama. We're at St. Bernard Abbey on the football/soccer field for the shoot-downs for the pro classes and awards being given out for the senior pro class. And we are getting ready to watch the Mac Daddy of judging. It's the men's pro class with, of course, biggest names in the sport, and would like to welcome to the broadcast booth Darren Christianberry. Darren, it's great to have you here.
Thank you, guys. I'm looking forward to this. I got a sneak peek behind the scenes, and this is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome
this is
to
pretty
see
cool,
and be
isn't
a
it?
part of. Yes.
You mean the shoot-down? Of course. It's
Everything,
always fun.
everything, yes.
It's always fun. This, of course, is round 7 of 7 for 2018. We started in February at the Horde Archery Alabama Pro-Am in Foley, the New Breed Black Arrow Pro-Am in Phoenix, Alabama, the East and Southwest Shootout in Paris. That was in April 7th, April 28th. We're at the Leupold AAE Georgia Pro-Am in Augusta. June 2nd, we're at the True Ball Excel Kentucky Pro-Am in London, Kentucky. And then our last one was June 30th, Matthews, Illinois Pro-Am in Metropolis. And this is the way we finish off. A good look at Levi Morgan, 12 Shooter of the Year awards.
In a row.
Welcome, everybody, to the Open Pro Men's Shootdown. Your 5th place qualifier this week, Jack Wallace II from Townville, South Carolina. 23 years shooting as a pro. His primary sponsor, PSE. Also sponsored by Black Eagle Arrows, Dead Center Archery Products, Rogue Bowstrings, True Ball, GPO, and Feather Vision. His wife, Sharon Wallace, we just saw her earlier this evening in attendance. Some of his highlights: ASA Shooter of the Year in 1996, the first man to win $50,000. ASA Classic Champion in 2014. ASA all-time high unknown score of 448. And the ASA all-time high 12s in one day with 16. Jack Wallace, your 5th place qualifier, with a 421. Your 4th place qualifier, Danny Evans from Monticello, Illinois. 14 years shooting pro from Matthews, True Ball, Axel, Carbon Express, B Stinger Stabilizers, Vortex Optics, and Last Chance Archery. He is also the Texas ASA champion, multiple podium finishes, and has made 5 of 7 shoot-downs this year. 4th place, Danny Evans with a 421. Your 3rd place qualifier, Chris Hacker from Van Buren, Arkansas. 13 years shooting as pro for Matthews. Also shoots Easton, Scott Archery, CBE, B Stinger, and Gelco Outdoors and Feather Vision. Amy, Ansley, and Rihanna in the stands watching. Also, ASA Shooter of the Year, ASA Classic Champion, and multiple shoot-down appearances. Your 3rd place qualifier, Chris Hacker, with a 422. In 2nd place, Brandon Reyes from Lynchburg, Virginia. 14 years as a pro, shooting for Matthews Archery. Also, True Ball releases, Axel Sights, Black Eagle Arrows, Vortex Optics, and Doinker Stabilizers. His entire family, according to the note card here, is watching on Competition Archery Media this weekend. 30 years of archery friends watching here and online at home. His former Open Pro, Pro-Am champion, your 2nd place qualifier, Brandon Reyes, with a 428. And your number 1 qualifier, his 12th Shooter of the Year title this year, Levi Morgan from Uniontown, Pennsylvania. 13 years shooting as pro. His primary sponsor, Matthews, also Gold Tip, True Fire, Sherlock, QAD, Last Chance, Mountain Ops, Mossy Oak, Browning, and Feather Vision. 12-time Shooter of the Year, 2-time Classic Champion, your #1 qualifier, Levi Morgan with a 4.32.
So there we go. The stage is set for this.
Resume.
Who, Levi?
13 years as a pro, 12
Darren.
shooters.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right.
For a rookie, he's pretty good.
Not bad for a PA boy.
And really, Darren, he has turned on the gas in this real second half of the season. It started really just before the second half of the season, hasn't it?
Yeah, whenever Levi has kind of a slow start, everybody says, oh, he's washed up, he's done. And he hears that chatter, and then, man, we don't have a chance after that. So.
Right, because Jack came out of the gate firing this year.
For sure, won the first two, and then it's been, Levi's, won 3 of the other of the others. So, yeah.
In a row, yeah.
Dominant force out here in the unknown game.
Looks like Levi goes safe with a 10.
Of a sad face for Brandon there. He didn't look super happy with that shot.
Russian Boar is our second, so a 10 for Levi. Not that Levi's playing it safe, but he just needs to.
He said earlier to me for the shoot down, he was not going to give anything back.
Yeah, just manage that lead. Manage that lead. If anybody makes some aggressive moves, we've seen so far today 2 shooters in our women's pro and senior pro come from 4th. So make no mistake, it can happen. It was the first time, by the way, Darren, that has happened this season.
Wow, I know Levi's feeling pretty confident winning Shooter of the Year, so he should cruise here and not give anything back. I don't expect any surprises from Levi.
Mm-hmm.
Now with the 6-point lead coming into it, does that change your mindset a little bit or no?
It just all depends on how aggressive Brandon wants to be. I mean, he's 10 points or better above 3rd, 4th, 5th, so it's up to Brandon to see what happens to Levi's game tonight.
Tough position for him, Brandon, as well, because he doesn't want to start giving points away, trying to be aggressive to get that #1 spot. Next thing you know, he finds himself in 4th or 5th spot off the podium.
Right.
So it's a real mind game at this level in the men's pro class and what's going to happen.
Giving a hard look at Jack's arrow there. Now Jack's an upper caller.
For sure, and he's mastered it. He shoots upper 12s on almost every target, and he's very good at it.
Now we talked about that earlier. What's your mindset on those?
I think the upper 12 on the majority of the targets gives you the biggest margin of error. I know, like on a Coyote, Javelina, if you aim aggressive at a low 12, you have half, 3/4 of an inch before you make a big mistake with a 5. If you shoot aggressive at the uppers, it gives you a lot more 8 ring above the 10 before you get to that 5 number, which really can ruin your weekend.
Now, roughly how big is that 10 ring? I think they're all standard on all these targets.
I think it's 5 inches across.
It's like 4.5 or 5 inches.
4.5 or 5 inches, I believe.
So once you get used to that, once you nail that down, you know what your arrow drop's going to be.
Yep, and you can add or subtract numbers and aim a little more aggressive or a little safer, but I think the upper 12 is becoming a more safer game.
Center 10 there for Jack, it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first up, Danny up. This is a Javelina.
Danny's been having a great year.
Yeah, we're scoring from that 5th target. That's the Javelina. Pretty solid, the middle 10. Pretty easy one to call for us.
Give him a 441. For those follow along at home, if you have your little note card handy. Yep, there it is. The Delta McKenzie scoreboard.
Chris Hacker with the 10, so that'll move him to 42.
Brandon Reyes. A 12 for Brandon.
Brandon goes 12.
Bonus points on that
get
long
a bonus.
target.
Mm-hmm.
For a leader, Levi. Currently at 442. Needs at least 10 to hold on to the lead.
All right, so as we move over to Levi, who's on that Russian Boar. A 10 for Levi. All right, so in terms of the lead, he just dropped 2 points. A 2-point advantage, meaning so that moves us what? He's got 4 now?
Yeah, for Jack Wallace. Upper 12 call.
Well, that'll move Levi 2 points ahead.
Yep.
2 points ahead of Brandon Reyes.
I missed the call on that last one.
Danny and Jack still at 441.
We're going to look at the board. There it is.
There you go. Jack 441. He got a 10.
That's bonus points for Brandon because that long, I don't know how far it is, but it's a long hill country deer, and not everybody in the field is going to 12 that target. So he picked up a couple points on a lot of people right there.
We haven't seen a lot of 12s on that. You know, looking across that on the prior shoot downs, not a lot of 12s sitting on that. A lot of safe 10s.
It sits low. It's a small kill, and that's the longest target out there. So he got some bonus points right there.
Brandon Reyes has not been on the podium so far this season, so this would be his first opportunity to get on the box. So it looks like Brandon
just missed the 12. It looks like Brandon did. On that turkey, he's shooting that struck turkey out there.
All right, we're going to start scoring now from the chamois, our target number 1. And you need to look, that's a solid 10.
All right, 10 for Danny.
So that's Danny.
That gives him a 451.
Next up's going to be Jack Wallace.
He went 14 hunting, it looks
He
like.
did. He did go 14 hunting. We'll see what he gets there. They're moving those cards around. He nailed that one. Jack Wallace, of course, our winner for the first 2 rounds, has been on the podium 4 times so far this season, including second in our last stop at Metropolis.
It's almost not fair because Levi and Jack know how far these targets are.
Automatically.
10 moves into the 462.
All right. So that'll be a 10 for Levi.
Yeah,
another safe call.
2 best callers in the field, Jack and Levi.
And here's the thing with Levi, Darren. He knows how to manage a lead. He doesn't need 4 points, 5 points, 6 points. He knows he just needs 1 to win. So he's still got a safety margin, gets a 10. He's putting really the pressure on Brandon Reyes right now, don't you think, to go after that 12?
Yeah, Brandon has to be the aggressor here. Levi, he can hang on and coast. Brandon actually has to go after him. Well, and that's going to dictate what Levi does.
Now, with Jack being in 5th, he's going to be 14 hunting. Do you think, Levi and Brandon are going to pay much attention to that yet? I mean, there's only 2 targets to go.
I don't think he will until he closes the gap. He's 7 points behind right now. Now, if he hits another one, they're going to go, oh, here comes Jack.
Yeah, right.
But I think I don't think they're thinking about Jack right now.
Well, because that could get him into that 6th arrow.
Yeah, things go so fast out there. They're focused on their game plan, where they want to aim, and trying to make the best shot they can.
Levi just misses the 12 left there.
Oh, Brandon didn't like
Brandon
that shot.
Center 10.
Bet Levi's going to have a look to see what Brandon shot.
Yeah, you can see
It's
right there. He
his,
turned.
absolutely.
You saw.
It's his, and it's Brandon's.
He turned his head to look across the field to see what's coming up and what those guys just shot.
Not his first rodeo.
No, he knows.
So now, if you're Brandon, Darren, you're going to try to tie it up, or you going for it? You going for this?
I don't know.
It's too close, right? So you're going to go to a 6th arrow.
Exactly. And Brandon, it's his first shoot down. He's probably a little bit nervous. Everybody is a little bit nervous out there. Is he going to protect for the podium, or is he here to win? I don't know what his game plan is.
Do you have targets when you walk up and you're judging it and you're saying to yourself,
Jack hit it
I have this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's some that just kind of pop out at you and you have no doubt. And that makes it easy to aim and easy to execute.
Danny also went for the 14. Looks like it lays pretty good in there.
Now, in talking, Darren, we're doing this show. Whoa, 14. There you go. So Danny Evans going for it.
And that puts him in front of Jack. Jack hit an 8 on his last turn.
Chris Hacker.
Chris with the 10.
464. Let's look at the board real quick.
All right,
so coming into the last target.
Yeah. So it's it. So the lead remains the same at 2 as we go into this last arrow.
It didn't shift. Brandon is still in 2nd.
Little shift for
Chris Hacker.
Everybody's looking for the 14 now on the Russian floor.
Levi Glass in the field.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
a little
close.
That's
low.
close. You've got to bend that line. I think it might
really
be out.
Close.
They're flipping the cards. He just went by the 10. It is a 14.
Gives it to him. Awesome. Great shot.
Wow. That's big.
That's a 6-point move.
That's big.
Still 3 points.
Just like that.
So Brandon Reyes is ahead on bonus strings. Next.
Levi's got that grin on his grill right now.
He's feeling pretty good right now.
475. Jack Wallace. Upper 12 was called.
If the upper 12 was called, Jack nailed it.
12 for Jack Wallace.
Oh, wait, Jack's waving it off. He didn't
Sorry,
call.
he did
All
not
right,
call the upper
so we
12.
just saw from our commentating
Thank you,
position, Jack did not call the upper 12. So he did the sportsman thing, and he waved it off. So that's going to go back down to a 10 for Jack.
Jack's a straight shooter.
Yeah.
And
Really class
If
move.
Levi hits the 12, that'll push him.
Oh, boy.
Ooh.
Here we go. 12 for Levi.
The 484.
That just pushed Jack out of the last arrow.
That means Levi's no matter what these guys do.
Yep.
If Levi shoots a 10, he's going to win this
That's
classic.
it. So breathing room.
Now follows the 473. 5th place.
Not to say it's a gimme. It's never a gimme.
No, it's definitely not over.
When you're talking about one of the best at judging yardage.
Levi actually told me yesterday he finished 12 up for the day. I think he was in 2nd or 3rd. And I said, how'd it go? Did you hang on? He's like, I shot scared. I said, dude, you're Levi Morgan. Why are you shooting scared?
He listened to you today, man.
Yeah, and he really felt like with the way the year started, he wasn't going to be leading shooter of the year, have a chance to win 12 in a row. And then when he had the lead coming in, it put a little pressure on him.
Yeah, he definitely wants to think about that shooter of the year. How much is that check? 20,000?
That's probably what the check says, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's more on the backside.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
A little contingency from the manufacturers?
I'm sure there's some handshake money in the back end.
Maybe I'm not supposed to say that. I don't know. But
no, hey, listen, if you're thinking about, if you have a dream of becoming a pro shooter, this is how you do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but understand these are the guys you're going to have to go through to do it.
Yeah.
Come on.
You might want to have a plan B.
So what? Everybody's got Levi's number, right?
Yeah.
This guy's unreal.
So think about this. We've got the top 4 guys made the cut. Danny Evans, 475. Chris Hacker and Brandon both tied 478. Levi with a 484. Now, a 6-point swing from 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So they can't catch him. But what does Danny do against Chris and Brandon? Does he run for the 14? Because he can't finish worse than 4.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to earn that spot on the podium. He's going to shoot for the 14. Force these guys to have to
steal
shoot
it from him, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if they happen to both shoot 14s and Levi slips up and shoots an 8, then we go to a 7th arrow. But I don't anticipate Levi missing a center 10 depending on how far this target is here.
So they just stood up a deer that they hadn't.
Yeah.
A new target.
Yeah, so that's going to be the large alert deer.
The large alert.
So the large alert has been hanging around on its side, just relaxing.
It's been sleeping out there.
Absolutely. And so now they're gonna break it out. Now at the moment they have the shooters all sitting on the line.
Wow, that is a poke.
Yeah.
They stretched them out. Maybe he's going to walk them forward a little. Nope.
Levi's licking his chops now.
He loves that long stuff. Now,
sure.
What's this target do for you? Do you like? I see they've got it flipped. Do you like that backside?
Yeah. I think it's easy to aim at. The muscle reference in this is a target we've been shooting for years. I mean, this is the original probably 3D target that McKenzie came out with. So it's very easy to aim at. These guys are going to have no problem figuring out what the yardage is on it. It's just depending on how aggressive they want to go and can they make that shot under pressure.
Definitely dimmed in the lights. The sun is going down. The lights are shining here on the field.
Look at him pacing back and forth. Levi's, he looks like a caged lion, just kind of strolling back and forth looking for it.
Now, you might think the wind's died down here and you have the lights up high, just, football lights on this football field. That target, from our perspective, looks really well lit.
Yeah.
And look at the definition on the muscle, too. Is that something that you're really looking for?
You're going to see that shiny muscle there at 4 o'clock. They're going to be able to see that naked eye and in their scope. They're going to have no trouble picking out a spot to aim on this thing.
Yeah, those rings are cut deep.
Now, the 14, it's not as defined, but you can still see around the 8 ring in the core line. They're going to have no trouble picking a spot where to aim, regardless of what ring they want to shoot at.
Aiming just left of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so Levi Morgan now with a 6-point advantage has given himself so much breathing room in this one. He's just going to relax, and he's got that big 10 ring. That's that big perfect circle that draws a ring around the 3 in the middle.
I keep waiting for an 18-year-old kid to come in here and just really create some waves and knock this guy off.
He's on his way. He's probably
12. 14 right now.
Yeah, he's 12 or 14.
It's been 12 years.
And Levi shows 0.0 signs of slowing down.
I tell you what, I turned senior this year and graduated into the next division. And I am glad because the young guys coming into this men's division are so good.
Right.
There's a great shot of Danny. Let's take a look and see what he does here. See where it lands.
I think he's going to 14 it or shoot at it.
Nothing to lose. He went for it. Dropped it a little low.
That'll score an 8.
Dang. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And checkers are wreckers, man.
That's right. And the beauty of ASA 3D archery, you can go for it.
Yeah.
You got a chance to claw your way back into contention, as we've seen in the 2 prior classes, where fourth place has won it. So in this particular case, I don't think Danny Evans, for sure Danny Evans isn't going to have enough to be our third in a row to come from fourth to victory.
Yeah. So Hacker must have the least amount of bonus rings, so he's going to go next.
Yep.
Yeah, he did. Coming into this,
Danny would take third place.
Chris had 12 bonus rings and Brandon had 16.
Okay. Brandon hit 1 ring and Chris hit 2 in the shoot down. So
that's correct.
Chris is up next. Chris can aim safe side here and go aggressive at the 14, but aim safe and make sure he shoots an 8 if he does miss. That way he secures a podium spot.
Good release.
Lower 12.
Oh,
Got it good.
Smoked it.
Great shot.
Sure did.
So now he puts the pressure on Brandon. Brandon has to hit it to maintain that second position. Anything less is going to drop out. That gives him a 490 total.
What does he need to hit to stay on the podium, though?
He's on the podium now.
Second place.
Brandon, if he hits a 10, he gets third.
Okay.
He cannot catch Levi.
Brandon would still take third with a 5, so he can shoot a 14.
Yeah, right.
Here.
He's still on the podium.
He's still on the podium no matter
unless
what.
he blanks it.
Yeah, I don't know if he's done the math, but he'd almost be best served to shoot at the 14 right here.
Absolutely.
He's a pretty smart cat. I
Yeah.
think he's done the math. I think it all comes down to confidence, don't you?
Yeah.
If that 14 comes into play, you might as well go for it.
He's really squinting. He's not.
You see him, he just glanced over at the board. He's doing some more math in his head there.
He's not squinting to see where the 12 is. He can see that. He's squinting to see where he needs to aim for the 14.
Okay.
Start your 1 minute.
He shook his head, yes, I think we're right. So.
All right, here we go.
He went for it.
He sure
Hit that
did.
same spot that Danny hit.
So that'll wrap up third for Brandon, correct?
Yeah, Brandon will take third. That'll be a 486.
Levi needs 7 points.
So Brandon Reyes, who was our leader after day one, came and talked to us on our show ASA Daily. Had a good conversation about what got him to the top of the leaderboard yesterday. Looks like he'll sort of solid third place finish. As for this archer right here, all he's got to do is just put it in that 10 ring.
Maybe my math was wrong. What's
No, he can
3
hit,
points?
he can hit an 8. Chris has a 9.
Gotcha.
And he hit a safe
There it
10.
is.
There it is.
Safe 10.
That'll make him
And
a
a big
champion.
fist pump.
Yeah, so it'll be 86 for Brandon. That'll put him third. So Levi Morgan, his 4th win in a row. 4th win in a row. Levi, with no podium finishes in the first 3 of the season, cleaned it. Ran the table to win 4 out of 7.
That'll give him.
And Shooter of the Year.
And swept the weekend. Shooter of the Year, won another classic. That's his 3rd classic title. And just, my gosh, and what a great human being. I mean, those people that don't know Levi personally, you can't find a better human being on the planet.
Mm-hmm. That's
I
right.
think he just paid for that bass boat.
I guarantee he did.
You know, when I first came into archery, I was traveling to West Virginia and got to spend some time with him at Garrett Ayresman's shop. And he was just a class act all the way around, right from the beginning. All right, let's go to PJ, who has our winner.
All right, here we are. Levi Morgan, Shooter of the Year, wrapped up earlier today. ASA Classic champion. How's that?
Oh man, I got goosebumps right now. It's been so long since I won this tournament. I feel like every year, like I said before earlier, today, I'm always working every year.
Okay, kids. What are our checks? We got a check for Levi Morgan for $15,000.
Now, what is the pressure for that?
Chris Hacker for $5,000. A check from Brandon Reyes for $2,000. We have a checks from ASA, $1,400 for Levi, $1,000 for Chris, $9.4 for Brandon.
All right, Levi, thanks a lot. Congratulations.
All right, so congratulations to Levi Morgan. And it's been a number of years. You wouldn't even think of it, would you? I mean, he's won so many times that he hasn't won the Classic in so long.
He's won so many, I don't know how he keeps track, to be honest.
Yeah, really. I guess when you're the person doing all the winning, it just kind of stacks up in your head in the right order.
He's got a nice office at home, and the whole wall's plastered with plaques. It's pretty impressive to see.
Man, that was a really fun shoot-off, actually. Now the guys are up here. They're going to get their checks. They're just in front of us off to the side. Coming up next, we've got the known pro shoot-down.
So, for the podium celebration, Levi Morgan with one of the biggest smiles on his faces because Shooter of the Year wrapped up, and now this victory, what a way to wrap up the season. And we all know that Levi's probably headed to one place, his favorite place in the world, which is probably getting ready to go hunting.
For sure, for sure. We've got, after we finished the other day, he said, we got one more, buddy, and he said, that's deer season. He lives to get in that tree stand.
I talked to him at Chance the other day. Would they hang 45 or 50 stands they hunt?
40, yeah, I think it was 40 or 45, yes.
Yeah, it was a pile of stands.
In Illinois.
Yep. He's all about it, man. I'm excited for him. That was great. And Matthew's sweep there, by the way.
Yeah, these guys are so good.
Open Pro Shooter of the Year, Levi Morgan.
So now they'll do the Shooter of the Year awards as well. Danny McCarthy takes third, and Jack Wallace.
There's 3 of the best yardage judges in the world right there.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yep. I've seen those guys call a number that it's just incredible. Jackie Caudle handing out the plaques and checks. Jackie Caudle, one of the lifetime members of the ASA, been there since before day one, I think.
Oh yeah, he's been a staple in this game for years and years and years.
Fantastic. Shooter of the Year. That's a victory, $20,000 check, 12 times for Levi Morgan. He's good.
Minimum 40 grand he just won today.
Just
minimum.
picked up. I'm just doing quick math on the checks. Yeah, it's 45 grand.
Minimum. I mean, that's what we know of. So, but still, regardless, that's some people's yearly salary that he just won in one full day here. So.
All right, as we get ready for our known pro, Darren, we'd like to thank you so much for joining us here on the broadcast. Thank you for taking us through the men's pro and this historic event. It was really fun having you in the booth.
Yeah, thank you guys so much, and best of luck, and hope we can do it again one day.
All right, appreciate it.
Buddy, I count on it.
Okay, I want to ask everyone here.
It might be a lucky pair of socks or routine before or after a hunt. Whatever it may be, trust that hunt to the most shootable and efficient bow ever developed. Honor the ritual.
Welcome back to the 2018 Delta McKenzie ASA Classic here in Coleman, Alabama at the St. Bernard Abbey.
The parking Nazi. Dennis Hatton is not with us. Chris White, Marla Spencer, Jim Gibson, Donnie Laney, Brian Ramey, Matt Shelton, Rick Dodd, Jamie Matthews, Michael Nanny, Mickey Haig, Roger Templeton. I want to bring all of them out. I want to get a picture of this.
This is recognition of all the ASA staff that puts all of these amazing events together. ASA President Mike Tyrell.
Not so much. Not so much.
Working with the crowd. So some appreciation for the hard work put in here. And it is hard work. When you're entertaining 1,800 archers at this event,
and they lay down 14 full ranges, 14 full ranges on this whole property, plus all the practice bales, plus all the breakdown bales. I mean, the pile of work, the effort that goes into putting on one of these events is ridiculous.
You got to come out.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Got to come out, check
These
it
are the
out.
people that do
hear
it.
me?
Yep.
And man, what a good time.
Absolutely outstanding.
Man, what a good time.
Big round of applause. You at home, round of applause as we transition into our final class of the season. I'd like to welcome into the booth for our known pro, Matthew shooter Jesse Broadwater. You may have heard of him the Freak Show. What's up, JB?
Hey, not much. How's it going?
Good. Thank you so much for sticking around here.
Yep, no problem.
Obviously, we're sad not to see you in this shoot down, but we're really happy to have you here in this booth.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as the rain holds off, we'll be all right.
So while we have a second, Jesse, let's talk about your season a little bit. How have things been going? I mean, obviously, you've got you were on the podium a couple times, including a win in Texas.
Yep, made I think 3 shoot downs and made a good run at the Shooter of the Year. Won Texas, had some podiums on the other couple there, but had all it takes is a little bit of a slip, and had that this morning there in the first half of the round, and kind of gave this weekend away. So.
Well, yeah, there's not much room to slip with these guys, with this crowd as tight as these are.
Yeah.
We've got to do some quick introductions here. Welcome, everybody, to our final shoot-off for this evening. This is the Known Pro Shootdown. Finishing in 5th, your qualifier, Tim Gillingham, with a 440, 23 X's from Provo, Utah. Shooting pro for 25 years, shooting for Boat Tech, Gold Tip, Hamski, Bee Stinger, Black Gold, and Shrewd. His wife is watching live online back home. His competition highlights: 2018 Fort Benning champion, ASA multi-time champion, ASA Classic champion, Tim Gillingham. Your 4th place qualifier with 440 24 X's, Jacob Marlowe from Ebro, Florida. Shooting pro for 6 years, shooting for Elite, Scott, CBE, Winner's Choice, Black Eagle, Bee Stinger, Vortex, and Last Chance Archery. His mom and dad are in attendance, and his brother here at the Shootdown. In 2016, 2017, and 2018, he was the Appling Unknown Pro Champion, and 2017 fully unknown pro known pro champion. In 4th, Jacob Marlowe. Your 3rd place qualifier and Shooter of the Year this year for 2018, Justin Hanna, with a 442, 23 bonus rings from Asheville, North Carolina. Shooting pro for 3 years, shooting for Matthews, Gold Tip, Bee Stinger, Vortex, Scott Releases, CBE Sights, and Last Chance Archery. 2016 Rookie of the Year in Open Pro, 3rd place in Metropolis Known Pro 2018, 3rd place in Texas Known Pro 2018, and your 2018 Shooter of the Year Known Pro, Justin Hanna. Your 2nd place qualifier from Denmark, Stefan Hansen. Shooting pro for 6 years for PSE, Carbon Express, Doinker, Axel, True Ball. 2nd place in the Classic 2017, and 4th place. This is his 4th shoot-off. Stefan Hansen, your 2nd place qualifier, 450 with 26 bonus rings. And your number 1 qualifier in Known Pro with a 450 and 26 bonus rings, Garrett Erzman from Morgantown, West Virginia. Shooting pro for 7 years, shooting for Elite, Vortex, Black Eagle, Shrewd, Zebros Lights, and Elevation. His 3rd cousin Riley's up in the stands. His Known Pro shoot-off, Metropolis Classic 2017, and he took 3rd in Augusta earlier this year. Garrett Erzman, 450 with 26 bonus rings, your number 1 qualifier.
All right, thanks, Chuck. The stage is now set for our final shoot down.
I don't think he has a 3rd cousin in the stands.
You don't think so? I think he was messing with you?
What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, I don't know who he's talking about there.
Here we go. Known Pro, you can use the rangefinder
to
tell you exactly how far the target is, and everyone does that.
Yep, just got to know where to aim and make the shot.
So we're looking at
is
Tim
that how it
Gillingham
works?
There.
Is that how easy it is, Jesse?
Yeah, just that easy.
Tim going for the 14 right out of the gate.
He's known to be aggressive.
I talked to him about that before we got started. He said he's got nothing to lose. He just might do it.
All right, Garrett
So that was Garrett Erzman.
50-year leader was Stefan Hansen.
Our number 1 position. He's going to come out with a 10 for Erzman, so he'll go to 460 right off the bat.
They're actually tied for score and bonus rings.
And these two archers came in tied for score and for bonus rings. And no doubt, Stefan Hansen, very aggressive. He is not scared when he's stroking it. He's going for it.
Yeah, or shake and shoot.
Does that surprise you, him being that aggressive?
Not really, because he's got some confidence right now. Shot with him the first day and he smoked it.
10 for Justin.
Yeah, he really did. He was only 2 behind Garrett, who had an outstanding run and was able to close that gap, obviously, to tie for the day.
Right.
How often do you think, Jesse, do we see tie and score and in bonus races?
Yeah, not very often.
Yeah. Usually that's a big separator.
And Tim Gillingham.
I think Tim's just
We'll
a
go for
little
all
low on this
14
one.
rings in this shoot down.
Yeah, it looks like it.
That is a hard one to go for the 14 on, that javelina right there, especially in these lighting conditions.
That's 8 for Tim.
No, he's gonna be Tim on this one.
Will go for every 14.
Now he's going to go 14s all the way around.
He's going for it. I mean, yeah, he had that at night, nothing to lose, no problem.
Yeah.
He loves it.
All right, guys.
Look at this guy here,
Give Tim a second to get settled in.
Justin Hanna.
Your shooter of the year?
Yep.
Consistent?
He's a heck of a guy.
Upper 12 for
Definitely
Stefan.
deserved it. I think he made like every shoot down,
Mm-hmm.
maybe except one. He may have made them all. So,
All right, gentlemen.
well-deserved shooter of the year right there.
Jacob Marlowe. Waiting for the go-ahead.
Tim, you ready?
Fellow Floridian right there.
Oh, yeah, you're a Floridian now, are you?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
Do you get to shoot with him often, or do you guys get together at all, or no?
Nah, he lives up in the Panhandle there, so he's a little bit away from me. So.
Boy, he's raring to go.
He is.
Okay,
Yeah, Justin Hanna's
upper
worst
12
finish this
called by
year, Jesse, I
Garrett.
believe,
On the
was
Russian 4, upper 12 by
in Augusta,
Stefan
and that
on
was
the
5th place.
Deer.
Okay.
I mean, he did have a 6 and a limb saver, but I don't think that counts for this.
Right.
The Tommy will be
Yeah, Tommy did.
got the 12 there. Couple of fist bumps there, so a couple of good shots, that went down range.
You can see middle part of your screen over to the right, Stefan Hansen's coach or umbrella holder, Paul Tedford. Tedford actually tied on score to get into this shoot down, but missed it by 1 bonus ring. So he had 440, which there was a big tie between Marlowe, Gillingham, and a couple other shooters back there. That 1 single bonus ring took him out of the ability to come shoot this one.
Yeah, it was all jammed up right there to get in the last spot. It's crazy how that always works.
Step with upper 12 call.
I'm not really sure what that card
That's
looks
a
like.
miss.
That's a miss?
With Justin and Jacob. Garrett
I
Erzman
don't even know what happened.
That was
has
Stefan.
a chance to move into the lead.
Wonder if he missed his sight? There's no way he missed the target.
They just called it a 0.
On the Russian 4.
The 12 for
He has
Garrett.
the upper 12, moves him to 472. And for Tim Gillingham,
Wow, as we sit here in the booth, a little perplexed about what happened with Stefan Hansen's shot.
peeling the 14.
Tim went for the 14, of course.
Tim went for the 14.
All right. Let's look at
And
the
although
board
that
real quick.
chamois is a little
Tim
difficult of
now,
a target to shoot, in terms of the distance, it's actually not in a bad spot, is it, Jesse?
Yeah, it's not too bad, but there's nothing to aim at on that
Everybody's
thing.
now within 10
And with these
points
lightings and
of our leader.
shadows, like there's
Upper
no
12
sun shining on
for
it, no
Jacob, upper
sunspots.
12
It's
for
a
Garrett,
tough one to
upper
shoot
12
at
for
under these
Stefan.
conditions.
Now you guys wind up shooting in this
Jacob,
really
you ready?
dim light most of the time.
We'll start
for
your 1
shoot-offs, right?
minute.
Yeah, it is
Now.
totally different than what we shoot the whole weekend. So you kind of got to know, what the final venue is going to be like. Try to prepare for it. But
Garrett Erzman now in an incredible position. I believe Garrett called the upper 12, Jesse. Tim going for that 14.
Another 14 there for Tim. And it looks close. It looks like
It's
he's got it.
close, definitely. Tim's glassing it. Garrett, a little fist bump there. So first score comes in.
That's 10.
So
It'll
that's
fit
a
in
10
that
for
pie
Jacob
up there.
Marlowe.
For Jacob Marlowe. For Tim
Moving on
Gillingham.
to
So 474 for
Looking
Jacob.
for his 14.
Russian Bear, they're taking it close. Uh-oh, glasses are going on. This is real.
Trying to get the glare out to see if it's hitting the line.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to shuffle the cards here. Oh, no, sorry.
Switching sides. Wow.
Right. Somebody called a meeting.
They know what it is, but they like cameras on.
Yeah, they that's it. Mike Durrell said they like camera time. Oh, they're shuffling. That's an 8. Oh, so Tim going for it. That was a close one, obviously.
Gives him a 470.
Tough breaks for him. Didn't
Now
miss him
Garrett.
like just that far.
All right, so Garrett Erzman with Stefan Hansen's miss.
He's still in front of Tim, though.
He's still in front of Tim, and he hasn't even scored his third arrow yet, and we know that. So a 10 for Garrett. So now, all of a sudden, I think Garrett's going into conservative mode, right, Jesse? Just pound him out in the middle with the scores right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can, but you still want to, gain as many points as you can. And, I mean, if there's someone within 10 points of them, there's going to be another arrow, but...
Oh, yeah, good point. So you think you're trying to close the door on everyone, not even go to that next arrow?
Yeah, it just depends.
Would you do that?
It depends on how I'm feeling. Like, it all depends on the confidence you have at the time,
If you could see his face right now, Jesse's face, he's got that little sly grin. So,
Hansen at 472 and Tim Gillingham at 470.
this is a position that Garrett Erzman, he's finished on the podium this year. He was third spot in Augusta.
Justin wants number 12.
Longtime archer Garrett, his father owns a shop in Morgantown, West Virginia. He literally lives within 7 or 8 steps of that shop.
Yep.
And they've now expanded that shop, so they can actually start shooting 60 yards indoor, corner to corner.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
That's Sportsman's Refuge.
So Johnston has moved up one position from third into second. Stefan down to fourth. Jacob up into second. Garrett still with the lead. Tim in fifth.
All right, so our
going
first
into
score.
this fourth arrow.
We're going to go to the Javelina. 12.
Who was that for?
12.
Javelina would have been Stefan Hansen.
Yep.
Confused.
484.
Next for Garrett Erzman.
All right, so next up for Garrett
Leader, 482.
on the turkey.
10 for Garrett, 492.
Because that is it. I mean, obviously you want to think, okay, I might want to close it out 10 or whatever, but if you have such a commanding lead going in that 6th arrow, it's kind of like,
Yeah, you want to try to make, if you know that you're going to have people going with you, going to the 6th arrow, you want to try to make them have to go for the 14 or something, so you don't want to just keep tying and keep dragging it out.
I'm still a little shy. Oh,
looking at the 14 there.
That's right. And that's 14.
14
All right.
for Jacob Marlowe.
So Jacob Marlowe.
Moves him to 4.
Getting a little racy.
Yep.
Now only 4 points behind our leader, Garrett Erzman. And now for Justin Hanna.
All right, so Hanna at 10.
Moves him to 486.
46
All right,
for
fifth
Hanna.
arrow, gentlemen. Garrett, 492.
So that's
Justin,
Garrett going to be in
412.
first right now,
488.
going into the
Justin,
last arrow with a 492.
486.
Jacob Marlowe with a 488, 4 points back. Justin Hanna with a 486. Stefan Hansen with a 484. Tim Gillingham with a 478. So even with the miss, Stefan Hansen is still in front of Tim.
But what's important right now is Jacob Marlowe. Marlowe has got to get aggressive here, and if he hits, if he goes for the 14, he's going to put a lot of pressure on Garrett.
He's on the short target, so he could. Center 10 on the deer.
No reaction from Garrett on that one. It's probably
the shadow's killing me, but I think that's a left 10.
All right, so we go to Hansen. Who called the upper 12. He got a 10.
494 there.
Yep. So now we'll move over to the Russian boar, our second target. Oh, Garrett with a fist pump there. So
yeah,
Hanna with a 14.
There you go.
For Jacob Marlowe.
And Jacob Marlowe, it didn't look like.
I'm going to double check that math. I must have added something wrong. He called it as a 500 even.
No, he said 5. I think he said a couple below 500.
Solid 10 there for Jacob. Yeah.
That was Jacob Marlowe with a 10.
Yep. So that was that move, trying to get aggressive, didn't hit it. A little bit of a look on the turkey. Everyone's favorite target.
Yeah.
Turkey.
Not mine.
No one I know of. An 8.
And
for Tim.
5th place. And for
All right.
Garrett Ayersman, our leader, 492.
All right, so for our leader, Garrett Ayersman, he called the upper 12. Oh, and he got it.
Got it.
He got it.
Man, he's stroking.
That's right. Way to put some distance.
Yep.
Incredible, too, by the way. He's shooting a victory 39 he put together 1 week ago, Garrett Ayersman. That's right.
That sounds about right for Garrett.
Yeah. He dusted it off the shelf and started pounding with it.
Said he had 1 day behind it before he got here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that'll put Tim finishing in 5th officially. He will not carry over to the 6th arrow.
Yeah. So it looked like Hannah was at 500.
Right? No, Hannah's at 504.
Now let's take a look at that scoreboard again that ASA has up on that board, because when I had a glance at that scoreboard, there we go. So it's 504 for Garrett, and for Justin it's 500. So if Garrett plays it safe and Hannah goes for it, we're going to be all tied up.
Exactly. Yep.
And then Marlowe right there to be the spoiler with 498. He's only 6 points back.
Yeah, but with this last arrow, you're looking at if Garrett shoots a solid 10, Marlowe
can't catch it.
No, because that'd be 16 game to shoot.
Looks like they're going back to that deer.
Yep. So this is the large alert deer. So this is the one that they built, propped up for the men's pro.
Yeah, and it's stretched out there.
Yeah, he's definitely going to stretch him out again.
All right, they're going to move him to a new stake.
Yep, just slid him forward. You can see him bend over and press the stake into the grass there.
All right, so Stefan Hansen still in the mix here.
Checks it to make sure it's legal, make sure it's within their max range.
All right, Stefan.
This is tense right here, because this shooter of the year has a chance to totally turn the tables. And I mentioned this before. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, Jesse, but so far this season, there hasn't been one person in the known pro class, not one time, who's come in here in position number 1 and who's won this.
Right.
So Garrett Ayersman has an opportunity with this arrow to be the first person all year to come in the first. I mean, he was tied with Stefan Hansen, but on our sheet, at least he came in here number 1 and to walk away with a win.
Yeah. You think it would go more towards the person coming in, if he's coming in the lead, that they would have a good chance at winning it, but it can totally go the opposite way.
In this class.
Just within 2 targets.
Start your 1 minute now.
Here we go. So Hansen.
Do you think he goes for the 14?
Watch how steady this young man holds right here. I'm telling you, he holds so steady. Jealous.
Oh, went for it.
Just off him.
Dang. And he's checking his tape again.
I like how he went for it, though.
Yep.
I've shot with him many times. Roomed with him actually in Foley, Alabama.
Yeah, he's
full of confidence. He's world number 1 for a reason. He's world number 1 in world archery for a reason.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Next up, currently a 498.
That shows you the talent that ASA, between the Jesse Broadwaters of the world and Levi Morgans and the world number 1 in world archery coming to shoot here in the United States.
Slim Shady.
Slim Shady. They called him Slim Shady.
The original Slim Shady.
Well,
old Lonnie.
It's better than his last haircut name.
Oh, yeah.
Krusty the Clown.
Yeah, right.
Old Lonnie Marlowe going for it.
No. Ready? Yes.
He's a lot of fun, man. He's got a great sense of humor. I love hanging around with that kid.
Yeah, he is.
Cracks me up. Coming in with a 498.
Rolling through the old 3-finger back tension.
Center 10.
Center 10, okay.
All right, so a little handshake there.
Currently 6 points
508.
A 10 for Jacob. 508. Locks up no worse than 3rd place now.
I can tell you one shooter in this range who's wanting to get this last arrow over and done with, Garrett Ayersman, so he can wrap this season up and go hunting.
Yeah,
he's basically got about 4 or 5 months of hunting on his schedule.
Yeah.
Debating whether he's going to Vegas or not, too. He hasn't been in the last 2 seasons.
Huh.
Been able to avoid it, stay in the hunting groove.
Yeah.
Jesse, that's what happens when you're not married and you have no kids.
Yeah, right.
10, you
I'm
get
ready for hunting
second.
season myself.
So here's Mike Tyrell explaining to Justin Hanna what his deal is. So basically, if Justin wants to go for the win, he's got one option.
Yep.
And that is go for the 14.
Yeah, and you can see, we mentioned this earlier in the broadcast, the fact that Mike will give those guys their options, make sure they've thought about it, make sure they've, maybe talk them into,
And that's a good thing. I'll tell you, when you're up there and like you're trying to do all the math and figure out what you got to do, it's kind of a good thing to have someone just kind of lay it out there for you and tell you what the scores are. And
just slows the pace just a little.
Second to think about it.
You've been up there enough times to know that it's a benefit, right?
Yeah, it seems like you're so rushed when you're up there.
All right, here we go, Justin Hanna. Oh,
dang, just a little tall.
Just a little tall for Justin.
That'll be a fine.
And this is it. We're coming up on the final arrow for the pro classes for ASA 2018 season.
But still holds on to third place.
So he's still officially in third until this last arrow is fired.
508.
Stefan Hansen off of a miss, only going to finish 6 points off of the podium.
Needs a 5 to win.
All right, here we go. So all Garrett has to do is basically hit foam.
Yep.
Upper 12.
You don't think he's shaking? Hey, because Stefan missed one. I mean, that'd be going through my mind right now. It's possible to miss on this field for sure.
Now.
He's got to hit a 10.
My microphone working now.
All right, so there goes Garrett.
And 8, and it goes to Justin.
There it is, right smack in the middle. And Garrett Erzman, who was our guest on ASA Daily yesterday, because he was the known pro leader, is able to hold on to that lead and come away with the win.
Yeah, well-deserved win, too. He shot strong all weekend, yesterday, today, and in the shoot-down. Like you said, come in number 1, left number 1. Can't get any better than that.
Probably one of his biggest wins in his young career, I would have to think.
Yeah.
A very talented youth shooter, and now working in as an adult. So Garrett Erzman shooting for elite will take victory here in Gnome Pro, the last pro class of the 2018 ASA season at the Delta McKenzie ASA Classic here in Coleman, Alabama. And there's a look at your tally. 514 will do it for Garrett Erzman in third. Second spot is going to be Jacob Marlowe at a 508, and Justin Hanna will be our final podium finisher. With Stefan Hansen, huge disappointment for him.
Yeah, I still don't know what happened there. I didn't watch it happen. But
First, we're going to invite the Blakely's Club to go take their target.
On our scoreboard, though, it doesn't show Stefan with a miss. It shows him with a 502.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, I'm confused as to what happened there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so now PJ is corralling our winner over to our camera. He's going to get Garrett Erzman, get a word with Garrett to find out how that was. That pressure cooker, Garrett was able to respond. His second podium finish of the season, and he was able to do it in fine style at this final 2018 Delta McKenzie ASA Classic. Let's go to PJ with Garrett.
All right, here we are, Garrett Erzman, Classic champion, known pro. How was that?
Unreal, honestly. It's my first pro win. I've been so close so many times, and I don't think it's set in yet. It's just I'm kind of shaking a little bit, not going to lie.
You think it'll hit you tomorrow?
I think on the ride home, yes. Got a long ride home, 11 hours to think about it. So,
what was your game plan there? I mean, you were going for some bonus rings, then you're playing safe. What was going through your mind?
I knew I could hit the 12s, and it got out there, and this light kind of made it hard to see some of the other, like the 14s where to aim. Lost the detail. And I aimed hard at the chamois, just shot under it. And when I drew back, plan was originally go for the 14 on the Russian, but I got anchored in, I heard Stefan miss. So instantly it changed. I went back to the upper 12 and caught it. So it was a big 12-point swing just off the top of the bat.
When you made that change, were you at full draw?
Yes. I heard it off the side, and I was just like, now's your chance. So
that's great. Thanks, Garrett. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Garrett spent a lot of time, of course, in the men's pro division, so he's very keened in and aware on listening to a release and a hit on a target.
That's crazy there. That he heard that and changed his game plan right in mid stride basically. So that's crazy. Crazy turn of events right there.
Well, what a way to end the season for the ASA events here in the 2018 Delta McKenzie ASA Classic. We've seen some incredible things. And by the way, this is the first time all season in Known Pro we've had the person coming in the lead is going to win it. That's unique for the season for the class. We've seen people in 4th place in the Women's Pro and Senior Pro division come up and win it as well. And, of course, we saw the domination of Levi Morgan win his 4th in a row this season. And, of course, all the shooters of the year. So much more going on here, by the way. If you're in the area in Coleman, Alabama, there's still a whole bunch of amateur shooting in these fields tomorrow. So you better come on out and spectate and have a good time.
There you go.
Well, let's get some final thoughts. Jesse, what did you think about the season as we wrap things up here and you head into the winter months?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great season. 7 ASAs. I enjoyed shooting all of them. Look forward to doing it again next year. And but I definitely look forward to hunting season first. And yeah, it was a good season for me. I mean, of course, you're always striving to do better, and that's what I'm going to try to do for the future. Just keep trying to do better and better, practicing harder and harder, and come out here and try to make the podium. Shooter of the year. That's always a good thing. Shooter of the year, to win that. There's an FAA Shooter of the Year, ASA Shooter of the Year, and to win those things, you really have to have a solid, consistent year the whole way through. So that's always a goal of mine every year, to try to be consistent throughout the year. So,
well, we look forward to see what you have going on. Thank you so much for joining us in the commentary booth. It was great. It was insightful. And we know you have a very early flight tomorrow morning with a long drive to get to the airport. So we appreciate your time, Jesse.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
All right. So, Chuck, there we go. That was something very special. Glad really to be a part of it. And, can't thank everyone for watching at home. And, of course, all the crew for Cam, what they were able to do.
Part of it. Thanks for having me along. We hope everybody at home enjoyed it.
All right. Well, that'll do it for our coverage here of the 2018 Delta McKenzie ASA Classic. Coming at you from Coleman, Alabama, with all this footage provided by Lancaster Archery. For Chuck and PJ, I'm Greg. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you again real soon.
It might be a lucky pair of socks or routine before or after a hunt. Whatever it may be, trust that hunt to the most shootable and efficient bow ever developed. Honor the ritual.
Congratulations. Thank you all. Make sure you're here right tomorrow.
Precision matters. Balance matters. Accuracy matters. That's why I choose dead center.